Yeah. So I guess real quick, this is one of my 10 cuts. A cut typically refers to like a scene, like a shortish scene, typically ranging maybe like 8 to 10 seconds roughly, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. So it's just something kind of like this in general. So you put stuff like this together, just animation, timing, spacing, whatnot. So, and you can have it kind of play around and kind of play uh, in sequence. So this is just cut one, a little transformation sequence. Oh, this is typically just what's known as an impact frame. They typically, so you know how like, let's say you use a flashlight, right? It's kind of like switching the flashlight on and off. It gives like that shock, that contrast between like black and white. Like it's purely intentional. So that, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is supposed to be fast. I see, I see. So that was cut one. Overall, if you combine all these cuts together, I think it's around 50 seconds to a minute. And a lot of times it's just like you can just set them up together. Sometimes you have like your keyframes, you have like your not in betweens, but like rough animation. Like what they do is like, so I'll have specific drawings in blue and some in red. Blue is kind of like the key frames, kind of like they're supposed to be there, and then the red's kind of like filling in the fill it in between drawings. There's in betweens too to make it even smoother, but then it's kind of that's way more time for the fluidity. And then there's the aspect of using a 2D camera, which is kind of like, if you imagine like this whole paper being like, I guess you would say like on TV or like during a film, it's kind of like, so there's like this blue outline box right on my screen. You imagine that's kind of like what the camera is, and then whenever I kind of want to move the camera, you can typically have it so like the perspective or its placement on the paper changes. Like this is the whole drawing on the page, but then I'm only changing it so it focuses more on the head and neck. Yeah, it's a way to kind of like save yourself from having to draw every few frames just to kind of get a sense of transition. Plus, like so just seeing it, it kind of fits the whole like the head's tilted back, but then it's kind of like faltering down, kind of jumping back up. But yeah, overall, I yeah, I think 2D camera can be pretty cool, especially if it's done well. Like it can add a lot more emphasis to what you're trying to do if you try animating. And then I also use 2D camera here. Yeah, so that way you can kind of just go up to the hand, and then you get into focus for like the next bits. Yeah, you can do a lot with a 2D camera if you have an idea of what you're trying to do with it, which like a lot of animators or artists in general, they'll call it, they'll look at movies, kind of like look at like the camera work, kind of like composition shooting, stuff like that. Yeah, no, this kind of stuff can be pretty fun. For like the blue drawings themselves, I typically go through like a little storyboard, just uh, quick drawings. I export them, enlarge them to fit the screen. Just a way to get my ideas across in general. Oh, and I do these like little grids, so I have a sense of like where the floor is, and like maybe how a character would be positioned according to like where the floor is. Honestly, sometimes if you just use the 2D camera sparingly, you don't really tell too much that it's like a camera. Honestly, for stuff like this, I actually watch a decent amount of movies, like action movies, kung fu movies, maybe just watching people move to kind of get a feel for it. Because I think one of my favorite parts of this was how I animated this one role. This is I guess like a more intermediate use of the 2D camera, which is, I believe in Japanese they call it the suke pan. It's like, you know how like you think of like a camera and like it kind of pans like left to right, up and down. But in this instance, it's kind of like this thing. There's like two layers going right now. There's like the character, and then there's like the grid slash background. So to execute this one, the camera's actually focused on the background and not the character. But yeah, I definitely like that role. Took me a while because I actually had to watch people who practice like judo and stuff, see how like they roll with like form and try to emulate that if I could.